Yanqi, or Karasahr, is an ancient town on the Silk Road and the capital of Yanqi Hui Autonomous County in the Bayin'gholin Mongol Autonomous Prefecture, Xinjiang, in northwestern China. As of the 2000 Chinese census update, it had a population of 29,000, growing to 31,773 persons in 2006, 16,032 persons of which were Han. 7,781 people Hui, 7,154 people Uyghur, 628 Mongol, and 178 other ethnicities, and an agricultural population of 1078 people. The town is well connected, being located on the Kaidu River, China National Highway 314 and the Southern Xinjiang Railway, and is an important material distribution center and regional business hub. The town administers 10 communities. The town has a notable Islamic population and contains the many mosques. The Buddhist Sanskrit name for the town was Agni, or fire. Yanqi, it seemed, was the local derivation of Yanqi, the Turkic word for fire. The city had possibly once been called Yanqi Shahar or Fire City. Xuanzang, a stickler for precision and partial to India, had used the Sanskrit word for fire, Agni, and transliterated this into Chinese, yielding Okini. Geography. The modern town of Yanqi is situated about 24 kilometers west of the shallow Lake Boston. The lake is about 81 kilometers east to west and 48 kilometers north to south, with a surface area of about 1,000 square kilometers, making it one of the largest lakes in Xinjiang. It has been noted since Han times for its abundance of fish. The lake is fed by the Kaidu River, and the Yānqi River flows out of it past Kaula and across the Taklamakan Desert to Lop Nur. There are numerous other small lakes in the region. History. The Kingdom of Yanqi was an ancient Buddhist kingdom located on the branch of the Silk Route that ran along the northern edge of the Taklamakan Desert in the Tarim Basin. During the Han dynasty it was a relatively large and important kingdom. According to Book of Han, the various states of the western regions, including Yanqi, were controlled by the nomadic Xiongnu, but later came under the influence of the Han dynasty after its show of force when it attacked Dayan in the late 2nd century BC. According to the Book of the later Han, General Ban Chao went on a punitive campaign against Yanqi in 94 AD after they attacked and killed the Protector General Chen Mu and Vice Commandant Guozhan in 75 AD. The king of Yanqi was decapitated and his head displayed in the capital. Later rebellions were subdued by Ban Chao's son Ban Yong in 127. In 644, during the Tang expansion into the Tarim Basin, Emperor Taizong of Tang launched a military campaign against Yanqi after the kingdom allied itself with the Turks. The 4 garrisons of Anxi was established, with one based at Yanqi. Karashar became known to Europeans as Cialis, an Italianized transcription of the Turkic chalice, in the early 17th century. When the Portuguese Jesuit lay brother Bento de Gois visited it on his way from India to China, de Gois and his traveling companions spent several months in the kingdom of Cialis, while crossing it with a caravan of Kashgarian merchants on their way to Ming China. The travelers stayed in Cialis city for 3 months in 1605, and then continued, via Turpan and Hami, to the Ming border at Jiayuguan. An early 20th century traveler described the situation in Karashar as follows. The whole of this district round Karashar and Kaula is, from a geographical and political point of view, both interesting and important, for whilst all other parts of Chinese Turkestan can only be reached either by climbing high and difficult passes, the lowest of which has the same elevation as Mont Blanc, or traversing extensive and dangerous waterless deserts of sand hills. Here we find the one and only convenient approach to the land through the valleys of several rivers in the neighborhood of Ili, where plentiful water abounds in the mountain streams on all sides, and where a rich vegetation makes life possible for wandering tribes. Such Kalmyk tribes still come from the northwest Tatal. They are Torgut nomads who pitch their yurts round about Karashar and live a hard life with their herds. Just as these Mongols wander about here at the present day, so the nomadic tribes of an earlier period must have used this district as their entrance and exit gate. The Tocheri, pinyin, Uyghur, on their way from China, undoubtedly at that time passed through this gate to get into the Ili Valley. Descriptions in historical accounts. According to the Book of the Later Han, it has 15,000 households, 52,000 individuals, and more than 20,000 men able to bear arms. It has high mountains on all four sides. There are hazardous passes on the route to Kyushu that are easy to defend. The water of a lake winds between the four mountains, and surrounds the town for more than 30 li, 12.5 kilometers, according to Book of Joe. The kingdom of Yanqi was a small country with poor people and 9 walled towns, and described the country and their custom thus: wedlock is about the same as among the Chinese. All the deceased are cremated and then buried. They wear mourning for 7 full days, after which they put it off. The adult men all trim their hair to make a head decoration. Their written characters are the same as those of India. It is their custom to serve heavenly God, but they also show reverence and trust in the law of the Buddha. They especially celebrate these days: the 8th day of the 2nd month, and the 8th day of the 4th month. All the country abstains and does penance according to the teachings of Akya, and follows his way. The climate is cold, and the land good and fertile. For cereals, they have rice, millet, pulse, wheat, and barley. For animals, they have camels, horses, cows, and sheep. They raise silkworms but do not make silk, merely using the silk fiber for padding. It is their custom to relish grape wine, and also to love music. It is some 10 li north of a body of water, and has an abundance of fish, salt, and rushes. In the 4th year of the period Pao Ting, its king sent an envoy to present its renowned horses. Zushu. Translation by Roy Andrew Müller. Neighbors. The ancient state bordered Kutcher and then Saksu to the west, and Turpan to the east. To the south via Korla, and across the desert, was Khotan. France's young husband briefly visited Karasahr in 1887 on his overland journey from Beijing to India. He described it as being, like all the towns hereabouts, is surrounded by a mud wall, and the gateways are surmounted by the usual pagoda-like towers. There is a musketry wall round outside the main wall, but it is now almost in ruins. Inside the wall are some yamens, but only a few houses.